Has it come up?
Good afternoon, Aiesha. How are you doing, love?
I am fabulous. I'm here with the best.
Thank you, Aiesha. You're looking great yourself.
Thank you. I went
Thank
to
you.
the gym today.
Oh, brilliant. And actually, I love that pink on you, but I'm going to go with that, to start with, because pink, I don't know if you realise, is about self-love.
Yeah, I'm well.
Yeah, it's about valuing yourself. So well done.
Oh, I'm gonna have to wear it again tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah. And intuitively, we often choose what we want, what we need.
Oh, wow, because I
Yeah,
used to always wear black as well. And I just think it's just like it could be it's just an easy thing to wear, but sometimes it's like a hiding thing, isn't it?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. But you've chosen pink, so you brought that energy into your body, onto your body. You're breathing in that colour, and you're breathing it into your aura. So it gives you that feeling of feeling a little bit more gently empowered, as
Yeah,
instead of I'm empowered. It's the
yeah,
gentle,
I like that.
which
Can
is
I ask
you.
you
Yeah,
thank you. Can I ask you a question, Dawn?
yeah.
When you're more in your purpose, people look at you differently. Why is that?
Because they sense your energy, and that
Mm,
draws them in if they are ready to hear what you're saying. If
mm,
they're not ready, sometimes it can be almost like a repulsion, or like, oh, hang on, don't try to bombard me with that. Yeah. Yeah.
mm,
But I'd say keep doing your purpose, because your purpose on this earth is really about you.
mm.
And if you're bowing down or neglecting your purpose to appease somebody else, you're not going to feel that joy within, are you?
No, you're not.
Yeah. And
You're not.
I would say, don't dismiss the people because they don't hear you right now, and don't judge them and say, oh goodness sake, what's wrong with you? You need this, because I know I've been there and done it myself. It's like, okay, just hold that space. You've planted a seed in their mind, and they will come back when the time is right.
That's right. Yeah, because your time's not always their time.
No, no.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah. And I think, if we're going with the project of OCIR, it's like, if somebody had told me all about this, getting out there and talking on videos and talking to people all around the world, with the coaching that I did last year, it's like, I wouldn't have done that because I wasn't ready.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's true. It's
Yeah.
like I was sitting there thinking, why is it taking so long? But I've sat back and I thought, I weren't ready.
Yeah.
And sometimes you put yourself in that situation to make yourself ready, even though you're not ready. But
Yeah.
you come a time when you're like, I'm ready.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I'm
you feel
ready.
it inside. It's something you feel inside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you grow as well, don't you? You
Yeah.
grow up.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like, for me, it feels like an inner strength. That's not something
Mm,
anyone else can give me, but it's just a feeling of what I want to share.
mm. Yeah, it is an inner
Yeah.
strength.
Yeah.
Right.
And I want to share a little story. It's just a little one, because this was about 36 years ago. I went to this fair by chance. I don't know why I ended up at this fair, because I was miles from anywhere. And this woman told me, Dawn, you were born to teach. And at
Wow.
the time, she said, you were born to teach. That's what your purpose here on earth. And at the time, I didn't like people at all. I felt
Wow.
I felt totally isolated. I felt totally alone, like I had no one even to share with, even though I had a husband and a young child. I felt totally as if that did not make any sense whatever. And it was
Wow.
only through my journey, and about 4 years later, this woman came back into my life, and someone else offered me some of those little remedies, the bottles and that, which I'm going to talk about in a moment.
Mm.
She actually said something to me which actually irritated me at the time. So that triggered something in me. It's like, why am I irritated by this woman, what she just said? Because it didn't feel true to me. Now, if she'd have said that to me 6 years later, when I'd heard about the remedies and I'd got passionate about help myself and realizing how it's helped my children, or my child at the time, because I only had one, and how other mums were struggling with that as well, and she'd have said that then, I would have gone, right, how do I do it? So that's for me was a big lesson for me in patience and just love people enough to just let them know that you can, that you have got something that could help them. And at the right time, those people will hear your message again. Because it always stuck in my head that she said I was born to teach, and it did not even seem the smallest bit possible. And yet it seems to resonate somewhere in my soul.
I think that's amazing that someone saw that in you before you did.
Yeah, I know. But I think that's where, you know, when we start working like we do on a bigger picture, it's not just the mind, we can see beyond what someone's telling us.
You're so right. And do you know what? I'm
Yeah,
going to say something here. When I was younger, there was this girl, she had special needs, and she always used to get bullied. I didn't know her, but I was always there to defend her.
yeah,
And it's only come later on that I think special needs has always been my purpose.
yeah, yeah. I totally agree. Yeah. My mum used to say that to me when I was a child. She said you'd always bring home children who were upset or distressed about something.
Yeah.
And you get really friendly with them, and then you get even more upset because they disappeared off to be friends with someone else.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
I didn't understand then about being bridges and, you know, just a support system for a moment in someone's life.
yeah.
I used to think there was something wrong with me, that they didn't want to stay.
Yes, yes, that
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. And I think that's why, Aiesha, with your app, that's why I really want to share my story and talk to people if, you know, if they want to listen. I actually was so caught up in my thoughts that there was something wrong with me because of the anxiety and the stress, and I was on antidepressants from a very young age. I
Mm,
actually thought there was something wrong with me. And that was the mindset I was living every day.
wow.
Why didn't I fit in? Why does everyone like me more than that? Why can't I remember what the teacher was saying? Why is it they're talking to me, but I can't hear what they're saying? Why did I sit and listen intently to that and write some notes down? And yet when I get home, I had no idea what that history she just taught
Yeah,
me.
yeah. I used to be like that as well. Even no matter how good the notes were, you still couldn't remember them.
I know. I couldn't put all the bits together.
Yeah, well, I was like that. What was
And
that called then?
now I know it's called short-term memory loss and sequential learning.
Wow.
And also it's one of the traits of ADHD.
Yeah, I think I got ADHD. I know
Yeah,
I'm dyslexic, so and I love to
yeah,
do 17 things at once. So,
yeah, yeah. But in school, that's, you know, that's where I started getting really passionate about, because my daughter was really struggling to get in school.
oh, okay.
She just did not want to go to school. We'd already had an episode when she was at play school where a lady gave me a bottle of rescue remedy, and that
Mm,
helped me to feel calmer, and that helped her, which I didn't quite understand at the time. But 2 years later, when she was having to go to school and I had no choice but to leave her,
yeah.
the teacher took my daughter off me and said, "Go home. No wonder your daughter's a mess."
Let me
And
write this.
I heard her say, "Dawn, you have messed her up." And that's not what she said, but that's what I heard on top of everything else that I believed about myself.
No.
So I ended up at the doctor's. I don't know how I got there that time, because I must have got there, but I just remembered I wanted the ground to swallow me up and to never ever feel this pain again, because I felt I'd hurt my daughter. So I ended
Mm.
up at the doctor's. He gave me, well, potentially he was going to give me more medication. And I heard myself screaming out loud. And I think that's the first time I'd ever heard my voice raised in my life, because I'd learned to be quiet at a very young age. But I
Wow.
heard myself scream at the doctor and say, "For God's sake, I don't want the medication. Please tell me why I keep feeling like this. What is wrong with me?" And he said, "I think you need a break, Dawn." And that was it. Simple as that. You need a break. I'm thinking, okay, holiday, holiday in my
Wow.
head. And I agreed with him. I did need a break. I was caught up in this muddle in my head, which felt like I was criticizing myself all the time. And I was on this downward spiral constantly. So anyway, to cut a long story short, he gave me more a medication prescription. And I went and got that from the little pharmacy. Went home with what he called, "This could be the answer to your problem." And it was an envelope with a load of writing in it, some printed sheets. And when I read through it, it was information about how the mental hospital could help you.
Oh. Oh.
And when I got to the last, there was a separate page which was an admission form for me to be admitted to the mental hospital. And I was beyond anger. I was literally beyond anger. All I could think of was, how on earth, who's got to look after my child?
That's the first thing you think about, isn't it?
Yeah,
Who's going to
yeah,
have the child?
absolutely. And I remember feeling really angry, and I threw every tablet I could find in the house down the toilet and thought, never again am I taking them. I didn't think of the repercussions then. I would never advise someone to do that because it did bring up other problems. But it was like, in that moment, I just had to get rid of what I felt was the cause of the problem. And I remember this little bottle of remedy the lady had given me in the cupboard, which I hadn't even noticed her number was on the bottom of it.
Oh, that's.
So I rang this number, and this lady picked up the phone, and I said, "You won't remember me, but she did." And but an hour later, I was sitting in their front room.
Oh, bless. That's
And
nice.
she didn't really say very much. She was very quietly spoken, so I had to really struggle to hear what she was saying. But I did hear her. That's almost like she was soothing me into a conversation.
I love that.
Yeah, and I just gently, 1 second, I've got. Oh, I'm just on a Zoom call.
Dogs have been out.
Okay, thank you.
Checking cattle MOT.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Just life gets disrupted sometimes, doesn't it? Falls off to do the MOT, and the dogs have been walked.
Oh, that's good. Tick tick.
keep me updated. But anyway, come back to my story. She just listened and listened as I downloaded all how I felt, how I was a useless mum. I was just letting my daughter down, what the doctor had said, what the teacher said, what my parents said. It was like blah, 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 blah. It was a mess. And she didn't even say anything. She just got up and walked into the other room and came back with some little boxes of remedies like this.
I love this.
And there was 2 boxes. I'm not going to hold both up today because they might end up going somewhere. And in those bottles, she just seemed to have something about her said that this was important. She just said, "I think these will help you, Dawn." And she did a little muscle testing. So you use your arm, like with kinesiology. And she went through, and some bottles with the muscle testing she put on the table, and others she popped back in the box. And she didn't say a word through all of this. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on here, but I could feel there was something. But it was more about her belief that she thought she could help me. It didn't matter what this was. The fact that she thought she could help me, and that's the first time someone had ever said that.
And isn't it funny how you're doing the same thing now?
Yeah. And I love this. Every day, I think I use these every day with somebody.
I love
Or
this.
with groups of people, because I like doing the Zoom groups as well. But if we're looking at then, right then, she went through all these bottles and she picked up 3 bottles that came out and said, "Dawn, I want to say there's nothing wrong with you. You're not a bad mum. You've just become the result of what other people have told you about your son."
Hold on 1
And
minute.
I looked at her and I said, "Pardon?" She said,
Hold on.
"The way you
Hello?
feel about yourself is how other people have treated you."
Hello, sorry.
And her words just resonated through my head. She said, "What you have become, or who you believe you are right now, is only because of what other people have said about you." She said, "Because the teacher told me you were stupid, you believe you're stupid. Because the headmaster told you you're ridiculous, that's what you believe. Because someone else who should have known better said that you never got to amount to anything, you believe that."
That's so powerful and true.
I know.
And that's exactly what I was saying yesterday. Oh my gosh, Dawn.
Yeah.
Go on, sorry.
No, it's fine. But I just looked at her and I was almost in disbelief. I didn't know whether to cry or to get up and run around the room and dance. I didn't. I think I just sat and cried because I just thought, really? It seemed like an unreal moment because nobody had ever said that to me. They'd never explained it in that way. And she was so softly spoken. It's almost like she was whispering in my ear. I was like, oh. And her words were like music to me. And she gave me this little bottle of remedies that she made up out of these. So basically the ones that she found would help me, she put into a bottle and said, "Take these drops, 2 tops, 4 times a day." And I went home on my little bike. Well, actually I went to school first, picked my daughter up, and I felt like I was flying. I felt like someone had lifted the weight off my shoulders.
Yeah, they understood you.
Yeah, yeah. And she gave me a little bit of paper and she said, go home, Dawn. She said, I think this will help you to get stronger and come back and see me next Wednesday, because this was a Wednesday. And I'm like, okay. I didn't even question it. I just, okay. And she said, I've written down something for you. She said, for you to study over the next few days. She said, and then come back and we'll chat about it next time. And on this bit of paper, she'd written, Dr. Bach says, when there's a void between your thinking and who you should be, is where dis-ease sets in.
Wow.
And I looked at it and I looked at it and I looked at it and I kept picking it up and looking at it, and it got very messy over the week, but it was like, is that true? And then when I stopped and thought about it, what I kept saying to myself, I could hear the teachers' voices in my head. I could hear someone else's voices in my head. And I've just been repeating every day what people have said about me.
Yeah. And it's so easy to do, because it's easy to be more negative than it is positive.
Yeah. But I didn't know there was a choice.
Yeah.
And I think I must have been living on some planet Zog or something, because I didn't know there was a choice. And that was the crazy thing, Aiesha. Nobody had ever told me that the way I was feeling was based on what I was thinking every day. And my reactions to things, like when my daughter was upset, I was feeling out of control because I felt helpless, because everyone else told me I was hopeless. So I'd become who others had told me I was. And that's why I love working with the remedies, because I help people just identify, first of all, how they're feeling today. And then we peel back those layers. And is it true? Is it not true? Let's go away and write this down. Write down what you're saying to yourself, just 3 thoughts that you have each day. And then we'll look at it. Is that true? Is it not? Is it helping?
I want to do 3 thoughts with you, Dawn.
What would your 3 thoughts be?
Oh gosh, on the spot. Am I doing the right thing?
Yep.
Believe in myself more.
Yep.
And don't let the non-sayers get in my head.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just writing that down because it's important, because I need to use your words. Okay. Now I've got to just go with those ones for the moment.
Okay.
Am I doing the right thing? So if you're saying, am I doing the right thing? You're doubting yourself.
I am.
And your mind only hears that you doubt yourself.
You're right.
It doesn't feel safe in that environment. So it starts producing the cortisol and the adrenaline. You go into the logic brain and you can't access an alternative way of seeing it. Because it's looking in to see what the problem is. It's like, oh, why is she worrying about this? Why is she questioning this?
Everything's all working well for me.
Yeah.
Look, when you're used to disaster and having a parent that didn't boost your confidence, because a lot of things that we go through is through child trauma, being a child. I feel some things like you're scared to be happy in case everything goes wrong.
Yeah. So what 2 remedies I would recommend there is gentian, which is to help you be more optimistic.
Okay.
Where you're always almost expecting a setback otherwise.
Okay.
But it helps you to get more optimistic. And Serato is about trusting and believing in yourself.
Oh.
And it's about purpose as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go with the next one, because I think this is a really important point for most people. I want to believe in myself.
Yeah.
So why not say, I believe in myself? And it's just a gentle shift. I believe in myself.
Believe in myself.
And just repeat that gently to yourself. I am believing in myself. I'm celebrating who I am today.
I'm celebrating who I am.
All right. Okay. And then the next one, which I think is a really important one, because you said, don't let the non-sayers get in. Right. And the universe doesn't hear, don't let.
Okay.
It hears, let the naysayers get in.
Oh. So what do you say? I command them not to.
No. Everyone loves and supports me now.
Oh, everyone loves and supports me now. Oh, I love that.
I'm loving and respecting my journey, myself, So you choose your own words. I encourage people to use their own words.
I suppose that makes sense because you're creating
Yeah.
your own
Yeah.
destiny.
Yeah, you're saying to your mind, this is what the outcome is going to be. So you speak as if it's already happened. So I'm joyfully embracing all these wonderful opportunities now, and everything's falling into place. So we use your words, and it would take a little bit longer than this, Aiesha. It's not fair to give you an on-the-spot thing, really. But we come out with the honesty, don't we, when we're put on the spot?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. So I don't often give people much time to think, but we would work through that process in a different way. So using the words they use to turn that gently around, so they could become more mindful of what they're saying each day, and then watch how they're feeling. So we could use mindfulness and breath work and the remedies and journaling. So it'd be just 4 little steps to start their day.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then if people want to, and often I don't recommend that they take the remedy straight away. I would just point out their state of mind, the negative and the positive. I'll send them some information to look at. But just let them go away and think about it for a few days.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea to let people think about it, isn't it?
But yeah, because I know in this day and age, sometimes people could not afford it. Some people won't be ready to hear it. Some people won't be ready to take an action step forward. But if you give them a little time, a little space, and they're doing it in their own time, they'll come back when they're ready.
Yeah.
So I'll never push anybody, because I think the time when Carol gave me the remedies to when I took them was 2 years.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So we plant a seed in people's mind. We help them to understand where they're at. We help them to process the experience by what I'm thinking is actually how I feel. And then we give them a little time just to process that for themselves, to see if what we're saying is true, if it resonates with them.
Yes.
And then if it resonates with them, let's see how we can take it the next step.
Okay. All right. We'll have to stop it now, my love.
Okay. Yeah, because we've got to pick up.
Yes. Oh.
Thank you for sharing, Aiesha. And next week, if when you're ready, let's talk about some of those other things that have come up with the other children.
Yes, I'm ready for it, girl.
And also with the parents as well, because I think it's important to work with both.
Yeah.
Because as the parent feels, often the child is reflecting.
Yeah. Like I've heard today. So yeah, that's very good, Dawn.
Yeah, so thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you for yours.
And I look forward to next time, love. And yeah, let me know what you'd like to put in. And if you've got some people that you're actually working with.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't mention names, but we could actually share some information that we could put up on YouTube, and they could actually access that if they wanted.
Yeah, I want to save you for the workshop, though. I want you to be my goodie surprise, Dawn.
That's all right. But yeah, sometimes we need to drip people in, because not everyone's got to get me straight away.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, let's drip them in then. We'll drip them in. We'll drip them.
Anyway, thank you, Aiesha, and thank you for the opportunity. And I'm looking forward to next week. Thanks, love. You have a great week, and I'll speak to you soon.
Okay, blessings. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.